and then of course into the webinar on innovative teaching practices. So I welcome you all on behalf of our educators to the webinar on innovative teaching practices. Of course, our tagline says learn from the top teachers in India, because the course delivered in this program is from top expert teachers from India. All right, so of course I will introduce you to some of our faculty. Of course, they're not there on the session right now, but I'll talk about them, and I'll talk about their profile. And of course, you have LinkedIn to really verify people's profile as well. So our company's objective is to update, upkeep, uplift, upgrade, upskill educators. We are Google for Education partner company. We are India's leading institute to offer instructor-led teaching programs, and we have helped number of educators to become proficient and confident in using technology in classrooms. Till date, we have trained over 10,000 plus educators, and these educators are from across 3,000 plus schools and colleges from 25 countries. One of our program that we run is the Google and Microsoft Certified Educator. These are certificates which you can obtain as a teacher. These are tech certificates obtained from Google, Microsoft respectively. And around 600 plus educators have till date become Google and Microsoft Certified Educator, from after our training. Experts in innovative teaching practices at Up Educator. So I mentioned about these experts, learning from the top teachers. Some of our past expert sessions being conducted are where we, invite these national teacher awardees or some of the other experts on our platform where, the teachers get to learn the best practices for that particular subject. Of course, they are not always talking about best practices. Some of them are talking maybe about technology in the classroom. Some could be a particular method like inquiry-based method or storytelling as a method. So these are some of them who have already been associated with us. And of these, some of them are going to be a part of our innovative teaching practices program. Sonam Chavan, I am the trainer for this session. And of course, I will just give my brief introduction about myself. I am a Microsoft Educator Master Trainer and a Google Certified Trainer. I have 15 years of experience in the field of education and have trained 3,000 plus educators on digital tool teaching pedagogies, curriculum development and implementation, international curriculum, and helped a lot of teachers in career support. I was invited by MyGov to meet the Honorable Prime Minister to share my views on inclusive education in India. I was also awarded Global Teacher Accreditation by British Council, and I was recently awarded Instructional Leadership Award by School Edu Excellence. So that's about me and my profile and my company. Of course, before we get into, what is this program all about, how is it structured and everything, I have a very important question to ask each one of you is, if you have been observant enough as an educator, what do you think are the changes that have happened in education system, are going to happen, or will happen in future? What are those major educational changes, reforms that have happened in our sector? So either they have happened, in the last 5-6 years, or they're going to happen now.
Recording in progress.
So please make use of the chat and you can mention your answer in the chat. What kind of, changes do you see happening in the field of education? Make use of the chat. You can write your answers in the chat, and we can all read it at a go. And of course, I will also be showcasing you some of the major changes that are happening in the field of education. Yes, anyone who would like to write in the chat? What changes do you think are happening in the field of education? Oh, great. Yes. Promotion of online classes, digital platform being used. It's more of blended learning. Yes. Great, great answers, everyone. Anything more that anybody would like? Skill-based teaching. Absolutely correct. We're going to be talking about that. Flipped classroom. It's a modern method of teaching. Yes, flipped classroom. Anything else? All right, let's have a look at some of the reasons we have put together. Of course, after talking to a lot of educators, we've trained so many a lot of them have been management, people of the schools, or they are principals of the school. So putting together all of this, and of course, the mentors that you're going to have, we've come up with some of the reasons or some of the changes that are happening or will happen in future. So use of technology in classroom, of course, that has increased to a very big extent, especially after the pandemic. Teachers have become a little more tech savvy than before. Teachers also know that there are a lot of digital content which is available for them to use in the classroom. So like 3D content is available, simulations are available, augmented reality content is available, and many more things. Second is, of course, the emerging international curriculum schools in India, especially the Cambridge and the IB curriculum. You will be very, happy, or, you're surprised to see the statistic. In the last 10 years, around 150% increase in the number of IB schools and around 110% increase in the schools affiliated to Cambridge, okay, or IGCSE. Now, it is not just private schools which are doing these, even the government education department of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Delhi have tied up with these international curriculum and are currently running pilot projects of having these international curriculum schools in the government schools. And of course, one of the advantage a school teacher who's teaching in an international school has is the competitive or the salary range that they get as compared to an average teacher. Next is parents are ready to spend a huge amount in their child's education or anything related to their child's development. So you will see nowadays parents are ready to put them in whatever class the child wishes to, whatever subscription online they wish to get. Parents, want to give the best education for the students. So that's also one of the, very important. Parents are so nowadays so educated also that are coming to us that they know they really want to give the best to the child. Introduction of the national education policy, which is getting one of the major change, is a change in the system of education. So we were in the 10+2 system of education, which is soon going to be replaced by 5+3+3+4, where at every stage it is going to be, they're going to check the readiness for the next stage. So, class 2, class 11, class 5, which is year 11, class 8, they're going to check on, how well prepared is the child for the next stage. Okay. Another thing that the national education policy is also getting, which of course you all mentioned, is skill-based education. Yes, it is going to be very important to focus on skill-based education rather than just concepts. So, just to take you as to a story of, this gentleman who Mr. Mathur. He was in a bank and he worked as a cashier in the year 1975. And over 35 years he worked. He got retired as a head cashier. Now, if you see years back, the growth in a company would be small. You did not need to have too many advanced skills, but that's not the case anymore. We are in a world which is fast changing, Right now, a lot of things around us is governed by technology and of course AI, which is being spoken a lot right now. Today, imagine we are in a space where jobs which are not so popular some years back are the jobs which are in most demand. Now, consider yourself as a child when you were studying. Were we prepared for something like this? Were we, did we even hear about something called as artificial intelligence and machine learning? Now, consider the same situation for the kids which we are teaching right now. Okay, we do not know what lies in the future, so do they not know. So if we are as teachers going to only be focusing on mastering content from the textbook, that's not going to be enough because we do not know what lies in the future for the students. So therefore, it becomes more important for teachers to build on 21st century skills. Skills like communication, collaboration, problem solving, critical thinking, and many more. If you develop these skills, you are preparing them towards facing the future that they will have. Because now they'll be more equipped to take care of things around. Even the national education talks about, national education policy talks about that. It point number 7, if you see, it's clearly mentioned critical thinking and helping in logical decision making, creativity, and innovation. So that's exactly what the 21st century is all about. In this, it is important for teachers to develop these skills through activities, through lessons in their class. So this is one of the future change that will probably come in the education field. Next is, of course, teachers are not the only source of information or gyan. Students these days are doing a lot of self-learning from watching videos on the internet. And of course, they have YouTube, they have Google to search, find information. Now, of course, ChatGPT AI is another support to get them information. All right. We as teachers are also collecting a lot of data. Now, what are we doing with this data? How are we utilizing it? So this also in the future, you will see a lot of data analysis is going to be coming into the classrooms for teachers as well for maintaining or measuring students' performance. And one of the very unique or, the futuristic classroom, which could be like this. Let's have a look at this video. Wonderful video. Just give me a moment. I'll play it in a bigger screen.
So, we're gonna have an astrophysicist in the family.
Actually, I have to write this paper. Will you help me?
Let's take a closer look. What part of the solar system are we talking about?
Saturn.
If you were taking astrophysics, you could study in the metaverse.
Did you know the rings are made up of billions of icy particles?
Really?
Look at this.
You ready to do that paper now, right?
Yeah.
In the metaverse, you'll be able to teleport not just to any place, but any time as well. Ancient Rome. Imagine standing on the streets, hearing the sounds, visiting the markets, to get a sense of the rhythm of life over 2,000 years ago. Imagine learning how the Forum was built by actually seeing the Forum get built right in front of you.
So of course, this is the future, and it's not, I will say, very futuristic. It is not too far. We had this gentleman, which, I showed you as one of our experts, Mr. Dilip, who is actually working in a Tamil Nadu school, a government school in Tamil Nadu. And when he was taking sessions with us, he took a session with our teachers on AR and VR in education. And in his school, it's a government school, I saw pictures where I could see virtual reality devices. He just had a couple of them, but he could give this. And this is nothing but immersive virtuals, so that the person himself is getting immersed in that world and, able to see. A lot of Indian companies have started creating data around this. So you will sooner or later, have this become a lot of schools having this kind of technology in the class. And of course, these are some of more recent changes. The STEM education getting prominence because of the national education policy. Also gamification in education, AI in education. So now with ChatGPT, Bard, Binge, a lot of teachers have started using artificial intelligence, and many other applications are there, for easing up their work. And of course, how do you use social media for your education? Now, while I mentioned that, we had created this program and we created this presentation also after consulting a lot of management heads, school heads, of course, the mentors that we got to understand that these are some of the points which schools are looking for in a teacher, especially teachers, who wish to go into these premium or, the best schools in India. Now, what is the first point is they are looking at a teacher with a growth mindset, the teacher who is ready to evolve, grow, and the one who is not, always thinking one more new thing. Oh God, my work has increased. The person is rather taking that new work as an opportunity to grow. That's the person with a growth mindset. Student-centeredness. Teacher talking less, teacher being more of a facilitator, and letting it be a student-centric class. Comfortable with use of technology. Teachers should be very good at using technology, and technology just doesn't imply using presentations and PPTs, okay, and videos. Technology is more, more advanced these days. A lot of application, a lot of tools can easily be integrated into classroom, and then how well the teachers are using this. Flexibility and adaptability. This is what is, also connected with growth mindset, how adaptable or, flexible a teacher is to the newer changes the school is trying to get it. Strong subject matter knowledge. Of course, this is one of the very important criteria. You have to be good at your knowledge. And of course, just not being good at what you probably learned years back, but also upgrading yourself with new knowledge. With every subject, there's something or the other new happening in that field. How updated are you with that? And how much of it which you can imply and show, talk to your students about it. How much could be connected to that newer information. Modern teaching practices, this is something because the teachers, the schools are looking at teachers who are able to use newer methods like flipped learning, blended learning in their classroom. There are many other methods, inquiry-based learning, project-based learning. How are these teachers getting this into the classroom? Good or strong organization and planning abilities, of course, that all teachers should have, and I think most of us have it. And the last, which is very important, is the one who is ready to engage in ongoing professional development. So schools now, it's because of the NEP, it's going to now become a mandate for schools to offer, professional development, and teachers will also have to have 50 hours of professional development every year. So, it is very important, therefore, to engage in this kind of professional development. And of course, when you do that engagement, schools will be more motivated to offer you such wonderful programs. Now, because of all of this, keeping in mind, we have, put together a program called Professional Certificate in Innovative Teaching Practices. This certificate is one endorsed by ETHI. ETHI is a UK-based company, okay? It's a governing company which awards certificate, and they have endorsed our program. So what does this mean? That you get an international certificate for teaching in India itself. So you would get that additional certificate from ETHI. Apart from that, we have also associated this with helping you become a Microsoft certified educator. So even that is an international certificate, which is an MCE certificate, and it's from Microsoft. So ETHI, I have mentioned here, it's UK based and regulated by Ofcol. Ofcol is nothing but, like in India, how we have AIU and AICTE, which regulates program of Indian schools or Indian colleges. So the same way, even UK has a body called Ofcal. You can, research about this and find out, and ETHI is getting regulated or, getting observed and taken care of by Ofcal, and ETHI has endorsed our program, which means they approve for the kind of program that we are doing. All right. Now, what is it that we are going to be covering in this program? So active learning methods, technology, modern teaching practices, differentiated and personalized learning, 21st century skills, and how do you implement this in your classroom, effective classroom and lesson planning, alternative methods of assessment, international curriculum, getting an overview of what these two curriculums are. Because if you are a teacher who wishes to go and international school, you should be aware about what these curriculums are all about. Management of students in the classroom, so that's classroom management, motivating Gen Z learners and SEL, which is social emotional learning of the students. How do you develop that? Gamification and social media in education or in teaching, and accelerating employability. That's like a big module where we cover right from helping you design a good resume. How do you appear for a demo? How do you do your interview? How do you create your online presence through Google Sites and LinkedIn? So this is an overview of what we cover. I'll now take you through each one of them individually to make you understand what exactly are we covering in each module. Active learning and learning taxonomy. So first, understanding students' learning styles, applying Bloom's taxonomy, understanding and applying Bloom's taxonomy in classrooms, and then applying various active learning methods or styles or strategies in classroom to have a more student-centered classroom. Second is technology in teaching and learning. Now, this is from the Microsoft end, one part of technology is getting covered, but we have not restricted to teaching you only Microsoft tools. We are also going to be teaching you some Google tools, some non-Google tools, non-Microsoft tools, which we think are very important for you as an educator to learn. Of course, we have also included in our program AI in education, which is artificial intelligence in your classroom. How do you utilize AI and AI-based tools to make your work easy as a teacher? All right. So these are some of the tools. Some of them, of course, there are many more than what you're going to learn. The first row is, the first column is talking about all the Microsoft tools. Of course, apart from this, there are some more other Microsoft tools like Sway, OneDrive, which is not mentioned here, Calendar. Along with this, you'll be learning that. And then, of course, some Google tools, as I said, and some TED, non-Google tools like TED-Ed, Nearpod, some gamification tools like Quizzes, Quizlet, and all of that. So we have ensured that we teach you all those tools necessary, which are very famous these days, which are used by teachers across the world, and which makes you more proficient as a teacher in using technology. So let me give you a very quick glance on how the tools would look like. So this is one example. Let's say, what can you do in Teams? You could, have a question answer forum on each chapter with your student, so where they can answer their questions. You can, of course, give assignments to students. You can create an ebook and share it with your students on Teams. Or you could have a separate ebook which you don't want to share it on Teams. Also, you will learn how to create a normal ebook using OneNote as one of the Microsoft tools. So, what is an ebook like? Ebook is nothing but a book which you would create as a teacher to share resources, to share notes, and notes with videos which can be played virtually online in the same platform. You could give them tasks in it and make it more, say maybe use mind maps like these, things to be made more easier for the student. Another application which we would learn would be Nearpod. All right. This is nothing but an application which helps teachers, especially in a lot of, things like VR. So you could take them to a virtual field trip. Of course, if you have the VR glasses, because these days normal VR glasses are also available, for 1,500, 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. So here with this application, the child can actually enter the VR and, can go 360 degrees into it and see things around. Then, of course, there are 3D models available here. So you could, get the students to manipulate. So this is on digestive system. This is what, the child will also be able to do. Turn, twist, look at the particular object from every side. Then, of course, within YouTube videos, you could ask questions, which means embed questions so that you get, if you have given a video to watch to the student, you exactly know whether they have watched it, and second, whether they have understood the video. So I'll show you an example of that.
Is as long as a bus. Yep, it's about 9 meters long, all wrapped up inside your body. A lot of things go on in your digestive system.
Okay, and at the point which was there, the video has stopped. The child has to now answer the question and then move on to watching the video. Of course, this I have not kept a setting that it is compulsory, but you can actually make this mandatory, that even without skipping this, they cannot move forward. All right. Then, of course, there are simulations, virtual simulations. What are these virtual simulations? Virtual simulations are to be done when, you are unable to take students to the lab. So in case you ever wish to. So let's take, for the digestive system, let's say I had coffee. I had 200 ml of coffee. What will be the pH level of my, stomach? It's going to be acidic. Okay, so things like that is what you can teach them through virtual simulation. Google Earth, that's another platform which you will learn, So here you can create virtual tools for language teachers. You can ask them to create projects and present it into the class, developing speaking skills. With history, geography teachers, of course, you can take them on virtual trips. Even science teachers could take them to virtual trips, museums. They can take them to, botanical gardens and things like that. And maths teachers can actually teach a concept of measurement, because there is a possibility of teaching area, of a particular space, perimeter of a particular space through this platform. Okay, so here we've transferred ourselves to Hawa Mahal. Okay, so from one location to the other location, here we are now moving to the Ajanta Caves in Maharashtra. So this is what is possible with Google Earth. All right. So these are some of the applications which I would wanted to show you. Of course, there are many more that you will learn, as I mentioned. Coming next topic, which is modern teaching practices. This includes blended learning, project-based learning, flipped learning, self-paced learning, and inquiry-based learning as well. So these are few of the things. Storytelling, as I mentioned, even that's included. So these are some of the modern methods which you as a teacher could use in your classroom. All right. What's flipped learning? Flipped learning is completely opposite of what you do in a traditional classroom. In a traditional classroom, we go prepare ourselves, deliver the lesson in the classroom, and students take notes and everything. And then you go give them homework to check whether they have understood the content you have taught. In the flipped classroom, you do the reverse. You give them the videos of concept in recorded form to be watched at home. And when they come to the class, now they do a lot of critical thinking, problem solving based tasks, activity based, hands-on learning experiences, and, make a class a completely application based to an base class. So that's the concept of flip. Just in a nutshell, I'm trying to talk about, but that's one of the strategy you learn in much detail, How do you do it? How do you prepare yourself and everything about this program? Differentiation and personalization. We all know we have different diverse kind of learners in our classroom. And for these diverse learners, it's very important that we are able to differentiate. All right. And how do we differentiate? What should we differentiate? Should we differentiate content? Should we differentiate objectives? Should we differentiate assessment? A lot of things could be differentiated. So based on that, what method should we use? How should we differentiate? And then even after differentiation, hello, I hope you all can hear me. So even after differentiation, if we realize that, the students that we are teaching are still are not able to, understand things, then we move on to something called as personalization. So personalized learning, how do you decide the child needs personalized learning? What is it that you can do in personalized learning? And of course, knowing and understanding special learners. Students with difficulty, disabilities, how do you support and help them? Then comes 21st century skills and cross-curricular. So here, this is again going to be learned as a part of the Microsoft certified examination. And then, of course, while you do the ITP program, how can you integrate this into your classroom? What are these skills? What levels are there to achieve these skills for students? And then how do you as a teacher write a lesson with these skills integrated into your lesson? So that's, and of course, cross-curricular integration is a very important concept as per National Education Policy, where one topic could be related or connected to multiple subjects by a teacher. All right. Then how do you do an effective lesson planning? So a Gagné's model of effective lesson planning, effective questioning, and you learn a lot of methods and strategy by the time you come to this topic. So how do you integrate all of this into your classroom? And then how do you create a specific lesson plan for your subject? So here is one, rough lesson plan, or, the simple lesson plan would you write. But by the time you will learn a program with us, you will be able to write lesson plan which integrates right from induction or the starter to creating the hook, applying of teaching part, applying things or HOTS, which is higher order thinking skills activity, assessment, and how do you make the lesson more engaging for the student? Next is, I said, eventually, we are collecting a lot of data and we are going to be using a lot of data in our classrooms. How do we use it for benefiting our students so that we can analyze, interpret the performance and support them to the maximum help? So analyzing data is going to be very important for us as teachers. Right now, we are not doing it as a teacher, but in future, it's going to be very extremely important, and then how as a teacher, you can simply do it with use of spreadsheets. All right. Alternative methods of assessment. We all know how to conduct assessments. We've always been conducting assessments, but what are the different ways of assessing students? Why are we only stuck to a pen and paper exam? Okay. And when we are assessing, how important rubrics can be for assessment. What does rubric means? Rubrics are nothing but, pointers given by the teacher on how the child will be assessed. Okay, so I'll show you an example of this. So here is an example of an essay writing rubric. Similar rubrics could be made for any purpose. So here exactly the child knows that if I have to write about focus and detail, when will I get 3 points? When will I get 2 marks, 1 and 0.5? For organization, how will I get my scores? Exactly, clearly written for the student. This is called rubric, and how do you create one and how do you use this into your classroom? All right. Another example I'd like to give you is an example of an a tool which could be used for alternative method. This is a tool called Flip. And here you will see a teacher has given them a task of discussion, okay, where they have to write how celebrities can influence people. And she has given certain points which the teacher wants the child to cover. Now, instead of writing this, the child is creating a video on this topic, and his video is getting shared with their entire classmate.
There are various kinds of celebrities.
It's getting shared with the entire classmate. The child is able to now watch somebody else's video, and another child will be able to watch his peer's video. So this takes care of peer teaching, alternative way of assessing, peer assessment, and here even the teacher could give him comments on how he's done, what is the good thing, and give her score. So this is something which is what could be done as one of the tools that you will learn for alternative methods of assessment. Then coming to the international curriculum in the IB and Cambridge. Both these curriculums, if you are ever planning to go and work in these curriculum, what are these curriculum? What is so different about this curriculum? What kind of teaching methods and strategies are required? Why it is very important to know the 21st century skills and its application in an international curriculum. Classroom management with technology. What tools can you use in your classroom to manage? And how should you manage the behavior in classroom? Motivating Gen Z and social emotional learning. Social emotional learning may be a little new concept for you, but this is basically taking care of the social and emotional needs of the generation that we are teaching. They are called the Gen Zs. Okay, and these generations, of course, when you teach social emotional learning, you are making them more socially aware, self-aware, and helping them become more a overall wholesome person. All right. Then comes to social media, and how do you use certain social media platforms like Pinterest, Quora, Instagram for your advantage to either use it in your classroom with your students, or some tools like LinkedIn, Instagram would be more for how you can promote yourself on a digital space as a teacher. Next is accelerating employability. As I mentioned before, here we are going very focused on how do you develop an impressive resume, what should be or how should be your demo lesson, how should you prepare yourself for an interview, and also create social media presence on LinkedIn, on having your own personal brand website, and that makes a complete package on how you can move ahead for a new job in a good premium school that you're looking at, or maybe an international school as well. And the last topic for this particular is the action research. Okay, this is where you learn what is the use of action research, when can you use action research, and where will you use it. So typically, because you are using certain newer methods, how effective are these newer methods? That can only be checked with certain action research if you conduct in your classroom. All right. Now, coming to our mentors of the program, I mentioned that I'll also be introducing the mentors. So one of the mentor is myself. So I am working with UP Educators as head academics, but I have a huge history of working with a lot of international schools as consultant and mentors to a lot of teachers. And of course, I am extremely passionate about using technology in classrooms. The next mentor is Mr. Ankush, who's again the founder of UP Educators, but he is a Microsoft certified data scientist, also Google certified trainer, and has attended Helsinki University in Finland. Ms. Manju Borkar, ma'am, she's an ex-principal and director of national and international schools, especially Cambridge schools in Mumbai. And she's also a certified life coach, leadership coach, and an NLP master. She's also on board with us at UP Educators. And Ms. Mukta Sareen, she's again a technology trainer. She's a Microsoft educator trainer and a Microsoft innovative educator expert. So this is the faculty, and of course, some guest mentors, as I said, you will have. Mr. Mahesh, I said about him before also. He's a science subject expert, but he takes a topic on inquiry-based learning and how teachers can use inquiry-based learning in their classrooms, be it science, maths, language, history, geography, political science, any subject. He is working with Khan Academy, and he's also a very, very famous YouTuber. All right. Next is Dr. Vinita Dubey. She's a PhD from IIT Delhi, and she's a founder of Miracle of Sciences. She takes a topic called problem-based education or problems-based, project-based learning or project-based classroom, where how you can make use of PBL as a strategy in your classroom. Ms. Shalaka Patkar is an IB educator. She's going to be the facilitator for how design thinking as a concept can be used in your class. Ms. Lopa Mudra ma'am, she's a TEDx speaker. She's also a storyteller, and she'll be taking a topic on how storytelling can be used as a tool in the classroom, be it any age group. It is not meant only for the preschooler. It could be used in any age group, right from the middle school, primary school to the high school to junior college levels as well. So class 11 and 12. And Ms. Binaz Irani, who's an SCL educator. She's working with a very famous school in Mumbai, Oberoi International School. And she's, of course, a counseling psychologist, and she's an expert at social emotional learning. So these are some of our guest mentors. And of course, you will have continuing education from the National Teacher Awardees, which I showed some of them which we had in the past, like Ms. Achala ma'am, Sangeeta Guladi ma'am, Sangeeta Soni ma'am, Dilip sir, Manish sir. Today we have one from with Manoj sir. So many such awardees would be, on our platform. So you'll get around 10 to 15 additional sessions from these awardees as well. All right. And then, of course, we've packed all of this with master classes, which includes application, which we feel are very important for you as a teacher. If you are wanting to go to an amazing, exceptional school, all cities, districts have that school that, everybody wishes, yeah, mujhe wahan to ek baar job mil jana chahiye. So if you are that passionate teacher, you should know all of this. Now, what is it that we are covering? So there are 12 master classes that we'll be covering. One is graphic design using Canva. So you could make your own colorful worksheets, posters of your classrooms, signages, or anything that you wish to, cards, videos editing you could be able to do here on the same platform. That's again on Canva. Then AI in education, this topic is going to be dealt throughout your syllabus. So it's not just one master class, but it's going to be taken in bits and pieces while you learn certain applications, while you are in the ITP program. We'll be taking you towards that. Then introduction to coding. Coding, of course, how coding can be used in the classroom. You learn how to develop one fun activity using coding on Scratch. Then comes to gamification in education. How do you gamify your classroom? How you can make it more fun in the classroom? Then I showed you an example of Nearpod, 3D content, virtual reality, quizzes within the video. All this could be done with Nearpod, which is called interactive learning experience. Productivity tools which make your life easier, which helps you work faster. Those are the tools included here. Then AR and VR in education. How do you use AR and VR in your classroom? So all the futuristic possibilities that are coming in the classroom, we've put all of them combined together in this program. And all of this is actually getting endorsed by ETHI, which is from UK. So it's an awards training and higher education. So it's awards for training and higher education. That's the name of the company called ETHI. All right. It's of course a governing body. Apart from this, some subject specific apps that we'll be teaching you. One is, of course, in languages and English, mathematics, sciences, social sciences, and preschool as well. Okay. So these are some of the applications specific to particular subjects that you would be getting to learn. Now, for this program, we have developed that, how is it that we will check for learning from the participants? So we will be expecting participants to create a portfolio which would contain all the lessons that, we ask you to create using particular methods that you learn. Now, what's the benefit of such portfolios and why are we calling it as portfolio? The reason we are calling this as portfolio, because when you go for interviews in schools, they may ask you concepts. Are you aware about 21st century skills? Are you aware about, or say Bloom's taxonomy or differentiation? Now you would give probably a verbal answer to them, but here this could act as a proof that you are somebody who not only knows this concept, but has also implemented or has created a lesson on that topic. Okay, so here you could showcase your of course you're currently working, you can even, once we approve your lessons, let's say you've created a lesson plan, point number 4, develop a lesson on 21st century skills. And once we check it and we say, okay, go ahead, you can do it. And if you're working in your classroom, try and implement it in your classroom. Okay, so that would give you an understanding of how well the lesson has been implemented in your, and how good your lesson was also. So kind of certifications that you will get in the program. So the first certification, of course, that I mentioned, which you would get, which would look something like this, which is where it would be written that you are certified by us and ETHI on this particular program. Okay, that you have completed this program. And as I mentioned, ETHI is a UK body. It's a UK international certificate regulated by Ofcal UK, right? The second certificate would you be getting would be from Microsoft. Of course, you have to give the examination of Microsoft and you would get this certificate, which is a tech certificate and a 21st century certificate. You also get a badge like this, which is seen on my screen right now. And this badge could be used in a number of places for your branding. Let me give you some examples of it. And the third, of course, you will get one more additional certificate from our company, which is Up Educators. Now, how do you use the logo of Microsoft for your branding? You can put like this in your resume. You can put it up in your email signatures. You can put it up on your LinkedIn profile, or you can write it in your LinkedIn headline as well. So these are some of the advantages of using that badge as well. What is the benefit of the certification that we are talking about? You are developing 21st century skills, you know how to implement digital tools and technology, you are preparing students for future, you're learning new methods, reducing your digital gap, you're getting an edge over somebody. Now that you know tech also, you know modern methods also, you are in a better position to deliver an effective classroom. All right. Now, let me quickly show you this video review. It is a video review by a teacher who's done our program. I'll just show you a very small clip. Of course, she's spoken a lot, but she is talking about how she implemented one of the things that we teach in this program and what difference she saw in her class. Okay.
And I think almost 17 section has been taken already with them. And after that, we started with the innovative teaching practice. And in that also almost 10, around 9-10 topics that we have covered. And all the topics are related to our teaching practice and especially to our teaching profession. And from those, as it started from the active learning and the learning strategies, or how the teacher could teach the students. So when we started with the active learning strategy, and it's ended with today's session, that is social media in education. And I found that all these are related to each other. So the first thing that we studied in the active learning is regarding the, if I'm not wrong, it's about work model, VARK. So with itself, we are able to identify the students' capability or learning style. So with that work model, actually I have tried to implement that in the class to find out the learning style of the students, because most of the time we have almost 40 students in one session. So we as a teacher, we are not able to go in person to the students and ask their doubts and all. So sometimes we need to know that what is the students' learning style so that we could implement in their own needs. So that's why I try to do this, and that I thought that I felt that that is very beneficial to me also, because when I did the work test, first I did for myself, to knowing that whether I'm a visual learner or what it's kinesthetic or any audio and reading and writing. So I did that for myself, and then I tried to implement with the student. And from that, I will not name the student, but I found one student every time very lazy and not talking, introvert type student in my class. So when I did the kinesthetic I found that he is V and K in the category of visual learning and kinesthetic also. So from next time, whenever I give some work, I'll give him the hands-on learning by doing work. So he, this I found in this around 15 to 20 days, I found that he is getting more interested in the subject. So with this, I think it's a good signal that the students are improving by knowing their learning style.
All right. So that was of course a small mention about, one of the things that ma'am learned in our program, and how she implemented that, and what difference she could see in her students. All right. Now coming to, of course, you could check this also. We have been rated by around 1,000+ educators, around 4.9 on 5, which is, one of the most biggest achievement, because not many education institute has this kind of rating on their platform. Okay. Now, looking at this picture, can you tell me what is the similarity do you see in each day? What similarity do you see each day? You can write it in the chat. Same dish every day. Yes, same dish. Tomatoes and everything, but same food, no, every day. I know I have taken up a picture of a salad, but if you see, imagine eating the same food which you like the most also every day. Would you like eating that every single day? Would we like it? No, we won't like it, right? So just imagine this. Why are we then using the same methods of teaching every single day in our class? And that is possible what your students would be, in their minds thinking, while you probably are using that same old method every time in your class. So that's just a thought that I got this, and, I wanted to share with you that it's time for us to change, and what better to upgrade ourselves and upkeep ourselves. Now, coming to how this program is going to be structured and how it's going, when the lessons are going to be, what is the cost of the program, all of this. So it's a hands-on training program. It's going to be conducted online, but along with the hands-on training program, we are also going to support you with 25 hours plus self-paced learning content. And, of course, that self-paced learning content also will be supported by us. You'll also have 8 portfolios I spoke about you. And for certain Microsoft tools, you will have assignments for helping you prepare for the Microsoft exams as well. Then you will have a mock exam for the Microsoft Certified Educator exam program. And you will have mentor support, and we have regular doubt solving session. We have curated the material that we are, sharing with you. Our batch size is very small. We do not take more than 20 to 25 participants in our batch. And our class timings are in the night, which is convenient for all of them, from 8:30 to 10 p.m. It's a thrice a week classes. And we have this program going in for 3 months. You will complete the entire program within 3 months. Our batch the next month is starting on the 12th of August. Now coming to the cost of the program, right? So the training program is going to be costing 13,900 plus 6,000 for the Microsoft certification, exam certification, and ETHI certification, and 3,000 rupees for the master classes. That all comes to 22,900. But we have certain vouchers from Microsoft and ETHI, and we can help you get that waive off. But you have to ensure you book it within couple of days, which is next 2 to 3 days, because these vouchers may not last too long. And therefore, you rather than paying 22,900, would rather pay only 16,900 for the program. And for those who have attended today's webinar, we are also offering the master class for completely free. So the masterclass fee of 3,000 is also waived off. So now instead of paying 22,900, you are straight away getting the entire program for 13,900, which includes your course training, your MCA examination fee, and your ETHI certification fee, and even the master class. All right. So that's also, and no GST along, it's all inclusive of GST. So there's no more further charge over and above that you pay for this particular program. So I am going to be launching another poll where it says, do you want to know more about this, about innovative teaching practices? You could mark a yes, a no, or a maybe, and help us understand whether you'd be interested in this program. And of course, get yourself very well recognized certificates. All right. So please fill in your poll over here, and our team will get in touch with you. And of course, if you have any questions, you can get in touch with us. You can also contact this number. You can take a screenshot of this particular slide. You can contact this number, and you can get your questions clarified. Of course, I request only just a couple of you have not yet completed the poll. I request all of you to please complete your poll so that, it gives us a big understanding on how many of you would really be interested in, knowing more about the program. All right. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And of course, if you don't have any questions, thank you so much once again for joining in. It was lovely to talk to you, give you all the information required. And that's about it from my end. Thank you very much, everyone. Any questions anybody has? All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you once again for joining in today at 5
Thank you,
o'clock.
ma'am. Thank you. You conducted very well and very good
Thank you so
your
much.
conversation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you and good evening and good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.